we should talk about one thing before we go. That is not it is not Nebraska related and it's not Northwestern related. It's just a rumor. Have you seen the clip circulating from Josh Pate when he talked about Lincoln Riley as a name to monitor in the whole coaching carousel situation?
I've seen the headlines, but do you want to just break it down for the
That's really all it is. Josh Pate, 24/7, now CBS, I guess, insider and their lead kind of guy on a podcast with Will Compton and Taylor Lewan. At the end of it, he literally did like this, like, you guys want to hear a name? It's like throwing a grenade out there. And it was like, Lincoln Riley's a name to monitor. I don't really see any validity in this, I'll be honest.
I don't either.
Yeah. Look, I mean, here's the thing. Has Lincoln Riley been disappointing? Absolutely. Has he, well, that's the same, I was going to say underperformed, but that's the same thing as disappointing. But at the same time, he's bringing in that number one recruiting class, and maybe that's what's enticing to teams.
Yeah.
At the same time, I don't see what program who needs to like hire a coach like one of these top teams, your LSU's, your Ole Miss, not Ole Miss, your Florida's, I'll throw Penn State in there.
Potentially Ole Miss.
Potentially, but yeah, we're not going to speculate on that though. Your Auburns, I don't really see which one of these programs, which needs to build a team up, looks at what Lincoln Riley has done at USC and says, "Yep, that's our guy."
Yeah, I agree. I mean, yeah, that's a good point. I also think my one rebuttal around the recruiting class, because I feel like everyone goes to that as a safety valve to sort of. I'm not saying you're doing that, but I think a lot of people use that as, hey, we have to keep Lincoln Riley forever because of his recruiting classes.
Yeah.
I'd argue the talent has always been.
Yeah, I think that's a cop-out answer. I agree with you.
Yeah. And I mean, on the defensive side of the ball, like, yeah. I think the talent is really, like, not talent like these guys aren't good, but talent to compete with the top dogs in the Big Ten.
Yeah.
From a physical and just overall football standpoint.
Yeah.
But I think but I will say though, if you lose Lincoln, you lose. I mean, USC they've been pumping out. It's weird to say because they've only had 3 different QBs at USC since hiring Lincoln, but all 3 of them have been good in some way. I know Miller was disappointing, but he is having a good.
He had his moments for sure.
Yeah, and Mayava is going to be in the NFL. Caleb Williams is number 1 pick. Like, you're going to lose that. You're also going to lose just the sheer like celebrity coaching staff that he has that draws in the recruits. It's not just Lincoln. It's like Lincoln bringing on Henny and Lincoln bringing on Dan. Like, it's a chain reaction that happens if you get rid of Lincoln.
Yeah.
So I think it is a cop-out answer, but I think there is some validity. So, but I do think, like, you make a good point. What has he accomplished? Nothing. Like,
also, it's just like none of these programs are bigger than USC. Like, I just don't. There's only a select few of programs where I think like the brand is bigger. You could maybe argue LSU because
definitely not Penn State.
No, definitely not. Definitely not Penn State. Definitely not like any of these other schools. It's maybe like he wants a change of scenery. Maybe he wants to go back to the South. Casey, can we quickly take a look? I sent this list to you. Yep. It's a list of. I made this list a couple weeks ago when I was bored, and it was the "If Lincoln Riley is fired" document. Well, let's look at this as a maybe if he loses. I'm going to zoom in a little bit so I can see it better. But I know it's not up yet. But maybe there's one that it's like maybe if he leaves. Maybe if he leaves, and this is like how do I put this? This is like a just theoretical. I threw a bunch of names onto here, and I did categorize them. So we'll look at this, and this is like no one else has been hired anywhere else. So let's look at this really quickly. All right, can you see this?
Yep.
All right, if Lincoln Riley is fired. So the first category is they may not pick up the phone, but you make the call. It's Dan Lanning, Marcus Freeman, Nick Saban, Lane Kiffin, and Urban Meyer. A couple of these guys, obviously Freeman feels the least likely, I'll be honest. Maybe even Saban. Maybe even more than Saban, just because of that Notre Dame connection. But Lanning, obviously, you got to give him a call. Lane Kiffin, even though he was tarmacked by USC, you got to give him a call. His daughter still goes here. Urban Meyer, another one. He's kind of an asshole, but definitely an asshole. But you give him a call. He's a great football coach.
Yeah.
This is the list right here who I really like. I
really like Kenny Dillingham.
Yeah. This is the list right here, which is I think this is who is legitimate and I think could be hired. Mike Elko. Mike Elko has built a winning program and culture every single place he's gone. He's doing it fantastically at Texas A&M, and it took him a year. That was a perpetual 8-4 team. And of course they could still go 8-4. They are a major CFP championship contender, though. Kenny Dillingham, obviously one of the youngest. Is he the youngest head coach in football still?
He's up there, at least
He's
at the
one
level.
of the youngest still.
He's a top tier recruiter. I mean,
Top tier recruiter. Well, is he?
I think so. I mean, look what he's been able to do in just a couple years there.
Yeah. Great program builder, though, and knows who to get, knows how to put guys in a place to win. Kalani Sitake, BYU, another one who I doubt he'd leave his situation, but I think you should give him a call, too. Another great program builder. BYU has been the last 2 years. He's been all across my monitor since a couple years back. He was tossed around with the Oregon name before Lanning got that job. But great program builder. Look what the Cougars are doing now. Casey, I know you're a fan of them in the CFP.
Yep.
Another one, Eli Drinkwitz. Think he's going to Florida, but I think you give him a call. He succeeded really well at Ole Miss, Missouri. He succeeded really well at Missouri. If you can build up a program like Missouri, who's a fine SEC team, you can do it at USC. You can do it in these places. A lot of these guys, sure, maybe there's a difference in culture, which who knows. But also a couple of these guys right here, we're going to get down this list. They are at their alma maters. Your Clark Lees, your Brent Keys. They're both at their alma mater, Vanderbilt and Georgia Tech, respectively. Program builders who have put loser programs in successful places. Georgia Tech, historically, I guess, is a decent program. Vanderbilt sure as hell is not. So I think when you're seeing what he's doing at Vanderbilt, once again, alumni, he's probably not going to leave. But I overall think that he is like a phenomenal coach. Both of these guys, that is. I overall think that they are phenomenal coaches. And yeah, Casey, do you have any critiques before I move on?
Not really. I do think, you brought this up. I guess the main critique is I don't know how reasonable it is. I think USC's brand is big, but I think drawing a guy away from the SEC, that's why I really like the Dillingham pick, because I think going from the Big 12 to the Big 10 with what he's been able to do. And I also think one thing to think about is USC, when they hired Lincoln Riley, NIL was pretty new. NIL was not, it was big, but it wasn't what it is now. The opportunities to draw one of these coaches where they can pretty much sign whoever they want, the location to, I think they would get a celebrity name within a short period of time for sure. So I don't think it's that crazy.
I agree with that. Moving on. Joey McGuire, Texas Tech. Another guy who I guess you could say it's a lot funded on money, and that's what Texas Tech has, which fair enough. I still think he's a good coach and a program builder. Texas Tech is still a good team, probably going to make the playoff. I think they're going to beat BYU this weekend, and I don't know why you wouldn't look at his name. And then Shane Beamer, guy who I think it'll be hard to pry him away from the South. But going from U of SC to USC, great all-time vibes guy, I think. And I think he'd be great to build up that program. South Carolina's not having a good year this year. But last year, they were good. And this year, they're not great because they lost so much talent. I think if you got the guys in the right place, he very much can win games. Were you about to say something?
I was going to ask you. So I read into the rumors a little bit that Josh Pate has surfaced. Would it be Lincoln Riley leaving on his own power or the university firing him? Because that's one distinction that, can he even leave on his own? He's under contract.
So that's the thing. It would have to be like a school pays us, whoever it might be, Auburn pays USC $50 million. Here, we'll take Lincoln Riley. That's why I don't see that happening at all. Because if you want to give us $50 million, take our coach and we'll go hire one of these guys, I am really happy with that, honestly.
Yeah. Do you think they fire Lincoln if they lose to Iowa and Oregon?
So what? They'd go 7-5,
8-4.
8-4.
Assuming they beat UCLA and Northwestern.
Maybe. I think maybe, but so no. I'll say no because the coaching pod is so tough this offseason because there are so many available jobs.
That's true.
I'm going to say no. Look at Wisconsin. They're sticking with Luke Fickell, and he sucks.
Yeah.
And because they don't think they're going to get someone better. And sure, Wisconsin and USC is different programs, but you're also, when you're USC, you're going to have to compete with LSU and Florida, Penn State for these big time coaches. And
Yeah.
if you like it or not, there's very much a competition there. Auburn, I'll throw them in there too.
At least you would beat UCLA in that race.